Disinformation is a global crisis. It is a threat to democracy. It undermines public health. This fake news phenomenon manipulates information. It deceives and misleads audiences. Disinformation campaigns are sophisticated. They spread lies faster than the truth. They exploit our fears and biases. The internet has become a breeding ground for disinformation. Social media platforms amplify this problem. They use algorithms. These algorithms prioritize engagement over accuracy. This makes it easy for false information to go viral. This can have devastating real-world consequences. Disinformation has interfered with elections worldwide. It has sown discord and polarization. It has even hindered efforts to combat the COVID-19 pandemic. The spread of false cures and conspiracy theories has cost lives. This highlights the urgency of addressing this global threat. We must protect our societies from the corrosive effects of disinformation. In the digital age, information spreads like wildfire. Unfortunately, this includes disinformation. Studies have shown that false news spreads faster than real news. It often evokes stronger emotional responses. This makes it more likely to be shared and believed. One reason for this is our cognitive biases. We tend to believe information that confirms our existing views. We are also more likely to trust information shared by people we know. Disinformation campaigns exploit these tendencies. They create content designed to go viral. The consequences of this rapid spread are significant. Disinformation can erode trust in institutions. It can fuel social unrest and violence. It can also lead to poor decision-making based on false information. Addressing this challenge requires a multifaceted approach. We need technological solutions, but we also need media literacy and critical thinking skills. The tech industry is developing tools to combat disinformation. One promising area is artificial intelligence, or AI. AI-powered fact-checking tools can help identify false claims. They can do this in real time, which is crucial in the fast-paced world of online information. Google's Fact Check Explorer is one example of an AI fact-checking tool. It allows users to search for fact checks from reputable organizations. Another example is Logically, a platform that uses AI to assess the credibility of news articles. These tools can help users make more informed decisions about the information they consume. However, AI fact-checking is not without its limitations. AI models are trained on existing data. This means they can be biased or inaccurate. There is also the challenge of keeping up with the constantly evolving tactics of disinformation campaigns. Deepfakes are a particularly insidious form of disinformation. These are videos that have been manipulated using AI to make it appear as if someone is saying or doing something they never did. Deepfakes have the potential to cause significant harm. They can damage reputations, incite violence, and undermine trust in institutions. Thankfully, technology is also being developed to detect deepfakes. Companies like DeepTrace and Microsoft have developed tools that can analyze videos for signs of manipulation. These tools often look for subtle inconsistencies in facial expressions, lighting, or audio that might indicate a deepfake. The fight against deepfakes is an ongoing arms race. As detection technologies improve, so do the techniques used to create deepfakes. This highlights the need for continued research and development in this area. Section 5. Securing the chain of truth. Blockchain for content verification. Blockchain technology, best known for its use in cryptocurrencies, also holds promise in the fight against disinformation. Blockchain can create a secure and transparent record of the origin and history of digital content. This can help verify the authenticity of news articles, images, and videos. Adobe's Content Authenticity Initiative is one example of how blockchain is being used for content verification. This initiative brings together major media and tech companies. They are working to develop an open industry standard for content attribution. This would allow creators to attach verifiable information about their work to the content itself. While blockchain is not a silver bullet, it offers a potential solution for tracking the provenance of digital content. This can help users determine if the information they are consuming is from a trustworthy source. Section 6. Guardians of the Digital Gate social media monitoring tools. Social media platforms have become primary vectors for the spread of disinformation. In response, social media companies are under increasing pressure to address the problem. Many are now using monitoring tools to identify and remove false or misleading content. Hoaxy is an example of a social media monitoring tool. It tracks the spread of claims on social media and identifies potential sources of disinformation. NewsGuard is another tool that rates the credibility of news websites. It provides users with information about the website's ownership, funding, and editorial practices. However, social media monitoring is a complex and challenging task. There are concerns about censorship and the potential for bias in content moderation decisions. Finding the right balance between free speech and protecting users from harm is an ongoing debate. Section 7. Deciphering deception, natural language. Processing in disinformation detection. Natural language processing, or NLP, is another branch of AI that is being used to combat disinformation. NLP models can analyze text and identify patterns that may indicate disinformation. For example, NLP models can detect the use of emotionally charged language, logical fallacies, and misleading headlines. OpenAI's GPT detectors are an example of NLP models being used for disinformation detection. These models can identify text that is likely to have been generated by language models, which are sometimes used to create fake news articles. While NLP models are becoming increasingly sophisticated, they still face challenges. One challenge is the ability of disinformation actors to adapt their tactics to avoid detection. Section 8. The evolving threat challenges in combating disinformation. Despite the promising technological solutions, combating disinformation remains an uphill battle. Disinformation tactics are constantly evolving, making it difficult for technology to keep pace. Disinformation actors are becoming more adept at using AI and other technologies to create and spread false content. Another challenge is the sheer volume of information online. It is impossible to manually fact-check every piece of content. This highlights the need for scalable technological solutions. Additionally, there are concerns about the potential for bias in algorithms used to detect and remove disinformation. Addressing these challenges requires ongoing research, development, and collaboration between technologists, policymakers, and researchers. Section 9. A delicate balance. Free speech versus content moderation. Social media platforms face a delicate balance between upholding free speech and protecting users from harm. On the one hand, platforms have a responsibility to allow for a diversity of viewpoints. On the other hand, they also have a responsibility to prevent the spread of harmful content, including disinformation. Finding the right balance is not easy. Overly aggressive content moderation can be seen as censorship. However, inaction can allow disinformation to spread unchecked, causing real-world harm. Social media companies are experimenting with different approaches to content moderation. These include labeling potentially false content, reducing the reach of misleading posts, and banning repeat offenders. The debate over content moderation is complex, and there are no easy answers. However, it is clear that social media companies have a responsibility to address the spread of disinformation on their platforms. Section 10. Knowledge is power, empowering users to identify disinformation. While technological solutions are essential, they are not enough. We also need to empower users to identify and resist disinformation. This means promoting media literacy and critical thinking skills. Educational initiatives can teach people how to evaluate information critically. This includes checking sources, being aware of biases, and recognizing common disinformation tactics. By fostering a more discerning public, we can make it more difficult for disinformation to take hold. Section 11. A united front. Collaborative efforts to combat disinformation. Combating disinformation is not a task for any one entity alone. It requires a collaborative effort from governments, tech companies, civil society organizations, and individuals. Governments have a role in promoting media literacy, supporting independent journalism, and holding disinformation actors accountable. Tech companies have a responsibility to invest in technologies to detect and mitigate disinformation on their platforms. Civil society organizations play a crucial role in monitoring and exposing disinformation campaigns. And individuals have a responsibility to be critical consumers of information and to share information responsibly. By working together, we can create a more resilient information ecosystem and protect our societies from the threat of disinformation. The fight against disinformation is a fight for truth, for democracy, and for a healthier, more informed public sphere.